with Polygon Pythagoras. Meta math, yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through MetaTope. My eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Help me CT's phone. Full body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the MetaTope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need? Golden chariots. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live stream. And all your metaverses, favorite games and widescreen. MetaTope, visualize your digital.
That's enough of that. Making me making me realize my age by those songs, and I was like, oh my god, I'm getting old. That was good. Thanks for that, Cryptomatic. Hey guys, everyone, welcome in. Thanks for being here early. Please go ahead and retweet the space at the bottom right, the little purple chat box thingy. Click that thing, click retweet, quick like. We gotta fill up this room a little bit more here, and then we'll get some introductions here with the people that have got here early. I'm sure we'll have a few more joining us over time. It's obviously a busy Thursday afternoon, so yeah, let's get started with some introductions. Go through the room here. Thanks for joining, Patty the Pirate, Mr. Ben from the Crypto Banter team. Good to see you, man. How was your trip home from Miami?
Thanks, brother. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it was a long trip, but well worth it. I had a great time in Miami. What a city, man. Wow.
Your first time down there?
It was my first time in Miami. I'd been to the US before, but that place is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot different than the rest of the country for the most part, you know.
Yeah, I think we met in Austin last year. Hella different from Austin, that's for sure.
Yeah, in Austin, you get you go out, you play some frisbees in the park, you get some nice barbecue. In Miami, you're out in the streets with booty shaking every corner. There's Lambos and there's Lamborghinis everywhere. I mean, you can't walk down the street without having to pay for that. Like you want a water that's like $10.
Hell yeah, man! That's a crazy place.
Oh, well, it's cool to see you in your. And I didn't actually get to see you, unfortunately. I came up to the booth. Ryan was there, and one of the other gentlemen from the Banter team. But definitely will tap in with you in a second and kind of get your guys' thoughts on everything from the event. Next up on the list here would be the Blockchain Crusader. What's going on? Thanks for joining us, man. It was awesome meeting you and Keeper out there at the Bitcoin after party. How was your trip home?
Dude, it was great meeting you out there. I mean, I still am down here. I live down here in Miami. But it was great, dude. It was a great time spending at the Bitcoin conference, meeting a lot of new people. So I'm excited to be here, man.
Yeah, dude. I mean, for the rest of us that don't live in Miami, how do you handle all that? Like, do you just do you have like a lock on the outside of the door so like you get locked into your place, you can't go out and party?
Yeah, dude, I gotta stay indoor, bro, because if I go outdoor, you go outside and the first drink is like $30, right? So it's like if you want to save money and you want to, survive out here, you got to make sure you lock yourself inside your own house.
I can imagine, man. Well, it sounds like you also have a little one in the back there. So thanks for joining us today. I saw you guys had your podcast earlier. I stopped in for a little bit and was talking to Keeper earlier. So it's really cool, man. I like what you guys are doing, and you guys are sticking through the thick and the thin of this market. And I'd love to tap in with you on how everything is market wise in a second here. Going forward, we got Scary Terry from the Rebud team and the Gardens NFT team. Dude, how you doing today out on the other side of the country?
Yo, what's up, guys? How's it going? Just chilling here at work. Glad to be on the panel. But yeah, excited to be here. You already know. I love just being here, being in the space. We've hung out so many times. It's just great to be here and reconnecting again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And how's Mr. Armand doing out there, man? I haven't talked to him in a space in a minute. We've just been in separate ones, I think, for the most part recently, and also the trip.
Yeah, no, Armand's doing great. You know, just he's got 1 foot in the IRL business and 1 foot, you know, in the Web3 business. So, yeah, he's I'm holding it down here on the Web3 side while he's holding it down in the IRL. But yeah, you know, we got our mint going. So that's kind of really what we're focused on right now is just getting our mint going, mint out. That way we, you know, we can start with the second portion of what we want to do as far as the gardens and you know, everything that comes with that.
Great, great. We also have our DJ in the house and operations manager at Metatope, Mr. Crypto Medic. Thanks for the tunes today. You saved me from having to set up like a setup for a second. I almost did because I like to practice, but yeah, I am definitely not as electronic savvy with a bunch of cords everywhere as I am with the internet.
What's up, my brother from another mother? I am always happy to be here. Happy to see everybody. Happy to see you. That first song goes out to Shelly. That was for her. The rest of them, hey, I just had to remind you how old you were, that because it makes me feel younger.
That's right. And last but not least, for the time being, we have Enzo. What's up, dude? How's everything going? You still are rocking that PFP? I don't understand it, but you know, maybe one day we'll get you you know, into like the ATS or something else, right? Maybe even like a ordinal.
Yo, how's it going, everyone? Talking about expensive drinks. At least you guys don't get salt in your water. You pay $10 for water, but you don't get salt in it. See, Uruguay's going through a drought, so we got these machines taking out water from the ocean, and our water, like our drinking water, is very salty. On the bright side, Shelly's blood pressure went up. On the not so bright side, my dad has to pay really, really high prices for water because he has high blood pressure and needs to bring it down and can't take all the salt. So, yeah, we're going through like a weird mix in the house of need salt, don't need salt. And it's really confusing. But yeah, $10 for water, man. I mean, I think it's worth it if you get to see a Lamborghini. Gotta be honest with you.
I don't know if it's just worth it to see the Lamborghini because you see about 15 of them every like 5 seconds. So, and half, I would say blockchain knows better than me, but 80%, maybe even 90% of them are probably rented. So, you know, you got people behind the wheel of those things that don't even know how to drive them. It's pretty dangerous out there in those streets. But yeah, so let's jump right in. I mean, let's start off with some current news here. I mean, blockchain. I hate to ask you to kind of just like a real quick summary, man, if you don't mind. You know, what are you guys seeing on the traditional side of crypto? You know, like with regarding Bitcoin. I know that there's everyone's kind of going, is this thing bottomed or is it not bottomed? And some people are calling for 20Ks. Some people are saying this thing has to level out above like 27.6 to get out of a wedge. I mean, if you don't mind, just like a quick summary of what you guys,
Yeah.
you know, more of a technical side.
Yeah, for sure, dude. So yeah, Bitcoin's definitely on a tight little spot right now, right? It's between it keeps getting rejected at 27, couldn't break above 30, and now it's dangling here at 26. If we do lose these levels, we're probably heading lower, closer to that 22, maybe 24K range. And obviously we got to take it level by level on where it drops. So I personally believe we've bottomed out. I don't think we're gonna go lower than what we already have. If that were to be the case, I definitely think it'd be a quick wick down shakeout of the market. I don't think it's going to be a prolonged event. And I think one of the things that is keeping us from moving up right now is this debt ceiling situation with the United States. But as that gets figured out, I think that's going to pump a Bitcoin.
Yeah, and speaking of the default, you know, every day the news is getting gloomier and gloomier, and they love to do this. I feel like every time there's something happening and there's like a deadline, they just literally will blame each other. I don't want to talk. The conversations stall, and then there's going to be 45% plunge in stocks. Meanwhile, Nvidia is going to the moon before crypto does, and we are all kind of sitting here like with our thumbs in our mouths, just trying to find the next shit coin to buy or the meme coin per se right now. So, you know, I think that you're right. I mean, it's a little kind of like a little weird spot that it's in. But do you feel like if it hits that 20 to 24, you know, the 20, 22, 24 range, are those buy levels in your opinion?
I mean, for sure, I'm a long-term investor in Bitcoin. Dollar cost averaging works, in my opinion, if you have a long-term mindset. So seeing these dips to 24, could it dip lower? Maybe. But if you're dollar cost averaging for the long term, it's never going to hurt, right? Obviously, it's never financial advice. I'm not telling people what to do with their money, but whether it drops lower than 24 or not, at some point, 24K will be a long term memory that you're going to be like, man, I wish I bought at 24, because people forget that when we were at 69, everybody was saying, if we go below 30, if we go close to 20, I'm going to be loading up the truck. I'm going to be buying all the Bitcoin. Now we're here and people are like, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe I'll buy it later. When we were at 15, same thing happened, right? People were saying, yeah, I'm not gonna buy. I'm gonna wait till we get to 10. I'm gonna wait till we get to 8, and then they missed out the opportunity. Now they're wishing they bought at 15. So I definitely think that every dip is worth analyzing, and if it makes sense for you, it's always a good time to dollar cost average.
So what you're saying is, instead of me putting 0.1 into every single meme coin that launches and watching it go to zero within 5 minutes, I should be DCAing into Bitcoin. I'll think
Well, I don't
about
know,
that
man.
one.
Some meme coins work, right? Some people have made tons of money on meme coins. I'm not that lucky. I've only gotten lucky once, but I've seen a lot of people get very lucky on these meme coins. But that's the casino, right? That's when you're going to Vegas, rolling the dice. You just got to know what you're doing with investing or gambling.
True that. True that. So, real quick, before I forget again, the everything we talk about here is non-financial advice. First and foremost, this is all entertainment purposes only. Anything that any of the speakers or the host or myself or anybody up here says is not to be taken as advice to how you should spend your money. Yeah. So, let's go back to Ben here, man. Are you guys? You guys are one of the top podcasts in the space. I mean, gosh, you guys have been around for a long time, man. What do what is the current sentiment of the Banter team? Are you guys bullish, bearish?
Geez, I guess it depends who you ask, man. We obviously got quite a big team, and there's a couple of hosts as well. They all tend to have different VCs and outlooks. I would say, generally speaking, we're always bullish. We'll really obviously believe in the space, and we've got a pretty similar mentality on the investment side of things. Like Blockchain was saying, we DCA, we have a long-term outlook, so we look to buy the dips. Short term, I think it's very hard to say, right? It's it's very much anyone's guess where we're going. But I think the general thesis in the office is, kind of pick the winners, do your research, and you should be good.
Exactly. And curious about how it's more of an open question towards this kind of thing with the market being sideways for the most part. I mean, it is fluctuating a little bit, but are you guys participating in MemeFi summer? Are you out there scooping some of these
Oh man,
non-utility tokens?
of course. Every guy in the office has his meme coin that he shills. I was personally quite upset that I missed Ben, given that it's my name. that
Oh
hurt
no.
quite a bit, bro. I missed that. I'm also in that Ben DAO with BitBoy and Ben.eth. So I saw all of it happening as well, and I completely faded it. So that one hurt a bit. But yeah, we've also been dabbling. Ran, I think he invested in that Opti AI, which he's spoken about quite a bit. We were fairly early on Pepe. We got in a decent time there, so that was quite a bit of fun. He also had on his main show, I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had a bunch of these like meme coin specialists that the one guy, I think his name's Poe, a bunch of these guys. That was a really fun show. I think that was our best performing show probably this year. to be honest. It's just mad to see the amount of interest that that comes in for the meme coins. You speak about the debt ceiling and Bitcoin price action, and you get pretty average views. You bring these meme coin specialists on, and all of a sudden the show explodes.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like I follow Poe. I'm in his alpha chat. I typically watch his calls lightly. I mean, they're more of like the like already kind of like established positions, and I feel like he does get a little bit of a pump whenever he does post stuff. I mean, made a quick buck on a few things through his calls, but yeah, no, that's cool. That I want to go as far as specialist, because I'm not sure. This thing is a crapshoot sometimes. I mean, but it is definitely fun to dabble. I mean, I got into Ben at launch, and so did my team here at Metatope for anybody who took it. Yeah, I definitely am a smarter trader than I was last year during the season. And when I say smart, it means I was taking profits on Ben. However, if I would have diamond handsed it, this recent pump in the last 2 days, it was like my 0.5 ETH from the launch would have been worth $180,000 if I would have diamond it. So yeah, it's hard to stare at that, but I made it the background of my profile picture of my phone. That way, every time I open my phone, I just I reminisce of what diamond handing was, and try to push myself into a position of making those better trades. So it's definitely hard out here in these streets. You can, if you get in early, that's like the name of the game, right? On these meme things, it's like you got to be early. And now you're seeing this, the meta's kind of changed. People were just launching fair tokens, which I prefer the fair token launches. But now you've got this this shifting meta in the meme coin space for pre-sales and engagement farming, LP building tactics that they're using now. So you got Alex trying to launch a network token with books, which they announced it to launch yesterday, and then LARPed for about an hour, wasting my time, wasting Keeper's time, and a few others, and about 2,000 people in a space, and yeah, nothing launched. So that was fun, but you got to hope that. I think a lot of people are trying to catch one. They're trying to catch one of these. They're trying to catch the $ Love is coming out. Pooh launched today. Or no, that didn't launch today. Pooh had a raise for pre-sale, and it was not even a minute. The thing was sold out. So immediately that means that I can say that was botted. And I think these are a lot of things that the traditional crypto person could be experiencing for the first time. Especially a lot of these people came from the NFT space. So Scary Terry, you guys at Rebud, you guys have been cracking down. You've been grinding hard, not only with on the David Taylor side of things, and now we're going into the Gardens NFT. I picked up my Garden NFT, so I'm curious to see how everything's going on that end. Are you guys satisfied with where you're at so far, given the current market conditions?
So, personally, I would say no, just because I feel like what we have to offer, realistically, I just want to get word out there about what we're doing, because, our NFT project is more than just, beautiful art done by Evan Hilton. It really is, an overall powerhouse. And something that hasn't been seen in the space before. Our NFT is backed by two real businesses, our tech company LogicIt, and then our cannabis business that is Rebud. And what we are planning to do, and what we are going to do, is we recently have made our tech public. So all of the tech that we use here at Rebud, we are going public with it. We're allowing everybody that wants to use our tech. We're allowing them the ability to license our tech out for 12 months free. We're already taking pre-applications, so by August, all of those pre-applicants will have the ability to start using our tech. And because we are the first and only cannabis token gated marketplace, right now all the Rebud holders and the Gardens holders Rebud holders get 30% off at any one of our locations online as well. And the Gardens holders get 25% off at any one of our locations in store or online. And then we do have partnered projects such as the Cryptoon Goons, Degen Tunes, Angry Ape Society, Alien Friends. We have like a list, I think, of like 18 or 22 partner projects that just for holding those tokens receive 20% off at any one of our locations and online. So what we plan to do and what we're already on track to doing is since we are going public with our tech, we will taking that utility that we offer here only in Southern California and Northern California and bring that anywhere where our tech is being used. So now everybody throughout the United States, wherever our tech is being used, they'll have the ability to receive those discounts, as well as not just cannabis companies that can use our tech. Our tech can be basically used by anybody. What we offer, as far as like our tech package, our suite, it's an online storefront, live order pages, payment processing, loyalty and promotional tools. So like think of like rewards points for shopping and being loyal to that customer. We also offer customer relations management, owner dashboard, our driver app. We do have a platform API, live inventory tracking, again, a token gated marketplace for those token gated discounts, POS system, and yeah, just what our tech offers as a whole. It offers a lot, and not just for cannabis. We want to open it up to any basically businesses that want to use our tech, ice cream shops, sandwich shops, tire shops, whoever is in need of these services. We are opening it up to them. So not only our holders get those discounts anywhere that they're shopping or anywhere our tech is being used, but also it's kind of a cycle now that these businesses are using our tech. Whenever our NFT holders or whenever partner project NFT holders go to these businesses and use their NFT as a discount, that business is also paying us for a lead generation, because we are not only are we providing the tech, but we're also providing customers for them now. And it really is very, very interesting what we're doing, because we talk about the bridge and we talk about mass adoption. We're literally here creating those bridges. So whenever Web 2 companies want to come in, or again, that IRL, when Web 3 people need to go into the real world and do some shopping, take care of things, they have a place that they can go to, a place not only where they receive discounts, but they're very much welcome just for holding those tokens. So yeah, I feel like what we have to offer is a lot, and it's not just that; it's so much more in the whole grand scheme of things. And yeah, just I'm really doing my part, just getting word out on what we are doing, because we're already there. What we've done with Rebud, all the utility we've offered, the IRL events, the music festivals, the goodie bags to the NFT conferences, the Rebud houses, just everything that we've already done. Just showing people that it doesn't stop there. Like we're still building, and there's still so much more to do. So yeah, I think we're somewhere around almost 2,000 mints. I wish we were a little more like the 4,000, 5,000. Then I'd be a little more happy. But yeah, just for right now, grinding it out and just getting word out there. What we are doing and what we are providing. We are a real business. We aren't launching an NFT project for funding or anything like that. The tech is here. The tech has been built, for the past, I want to say 6 years, just catering to everything that we needed as a cannabis delivery center and a storefront. And truly, not to sound cocky or anything, but there is no other tech like this on the market as far as cannabis goes. And I'm really glad that that we've decided to go public with our tech and open that up to anybody that needs services, a POS system, or inventory management, whatever the case may be that they need. Um, we can provide that.
That's cool, man. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, Armand was telling me about that for a while back, and I knew that he was excited to get this rolling. I think even having about even 2,000 mints in this current condition is exceptional in my opinion. Like, got to give yourself a little bit more credit than that, Scary. But it's definitely interesting to see that you guys are just pushing forward through this time here where a lot of eyes have been shifted off the NFT space, except for what we're seeing currently happening with the ordinals today. I know that Ben, you were saying about how Ron was taking a look at those ordinals and got in early on that stuff. I tried to learn like the BRC side of things, and it gives me a massive headache. Like, to be honest with you, the people came into like a space the other day or yesterday talking about it, like Trevor and those guys from the Ordinal Maxi side of things. And dude, I can't even like, they speak a different language than even crypto does. And I was curious, open topic here for anybody, but does anybody here have like a short form introduction or understand, like, is it just changing the mainnet of a MetaMask and then using Bitcoin on like Luminous, or I don't even know what the hell, like, I can't even figure it out myself, and I didn't even want to go lose money on transactions that wouldn't go through, right? Because I hear it's like very difficult, and it's very like as new tech as it gets. I mean, and anybody here use it yet?
I've used it a bit. It is very complicated. It's not user friendly at all. I like that, to be honest. I think that the best opportunities in crypto are the ones where it's not so easy. I think it means you're pretty early, number one. And number two, you get to kind of experiment with this tech in its sort of earliest form. I think if you're gonna do it, you gotta go put in the hours. You gotta make sure you know what you're doing. I've heard of a few horror stories of guys losing decent amounts of BTC, which is never ideal. But yeah, I think this is the time to play around, in my opinion. I think I'm not going heavy. I've been doing it, like I said, just to get a feel for it. The reason I'm not going heavy yet is I think it's pretty hard to pick a winner at this point. I'd like to see the market establish itself a bit more before I do that. But yeah, I think it's gonna stay. I think it's gonna get pretty big as well. Someone at BTC Miami explained it to me in quite a nice way, that made me pretty bullish. He said that, on Solana, ETH, all the chains that we currently buy NFTs on, what you're actually buying is a token that represents ownership of a JPEG that's stored like in a link, on Arweave or on some sort of host platform, which can essentially be taken down. You can essentially lose that JPEG. You can't lose the token, but you can lose what it represents ownership to. Whereas with ordinals, obviously, you are inscribing that JPEG on BTC. You're actually inscribing it on the blockchain, which I think is very, very powerful. And we shouldn't underestimate that at all.
Yeah, I agree on that. I mean, I think that I'm underestimating my capabilities. That's how I understand this shit, man.
Back yourself, bro. Back yourself. No, I think.
Yeah, no.
Think
So I
good
actually,
resources.
so I figured,
I
okay.
can send some to you. Yeah.
If I was like thinking, I was like, all right, what if I'm late on BRC20s, right? Like everyone seems to, this OBXT that dropped today or whatever they call it, and people made a quick 5,000. It sounded like around like that for their mints, and I was like, damn, all right, well I missed that one, but I said, all right, let me see what else is out there that I could get a head start on. And I was curious, I was looking into SRC, everything is like this weird name, SRC20 stamps. Have you heard of the SRC20 stamps?
I have not heard of that. I've heard of ORC20s, but
I'm ahead of the game. Ooh,
you're ahead of me
Blockchain
there, bro.
Crusader. You heard of SRC20s?
Dude, I have heard of them. Rice from Rice XTV told me about them at the Bitcoin conference, but I don't know how they work.
All right. Well, maybe I got some alpha here, boys. All right. The website is called stampchain.io, and it says SRC20 minting utility. It basically gives you a giant disclaimer that you're going to lose all your money by trying to do any of this. But if you really want to, you can. That, pretty much their community members, I think, are probably still in high school, and they are the smartest geniuses building this software on their off time when they don't have homework. And you basically have an operation key, a tick, which I don't understand that. There's some total supply and a limit per mint. Yeah. So that's as far as I've gotten here. But apparently these are kind of like, stamps. I would assume like how, yeah, no, I have no idea what a stamp is except for like Starbucks stamps. Maybe it's the same kind of thing. But yeah, I'm going to try and actually take some time this weekend and dabble into that and hopefully not get lost in the block sauce or whatever you want to call it. But it's this is definitely something new here that I think, like Ben said, it's if you want to get a head start on the game, and I think that this is potentially one of the next levels of, the blockchain wormhole that we could essentially be earlier on. BRC20s, according to the guys that were in that space yesterday, and I think it was Borovik's space, but they were basically saying like at this point you might even be late, if you're really looking for those gold mines. But I might have found something with this SRC 20s that maybe it's worth taking a stab at. So that might be my introduction into the Bitcoin ordinal inscription, whatever you want to call them. But I just it also brings up a point of, are these things here to stay? I mean, do you guys think this is a fad? I mean, I feel like this was already tried years ago by multiple companies, and they all fall into the same category and the same problem, that there's really no utility. That they failed in the past because they had no volume. They had people, they just couldn't keep the drive and the motivation to attempt all this stuff up. And I feel like when it comes to these BTC ordinals and stuff like that, it's falling into that same category, just a different time of it. And now it's in the bear market versus in the time when they tried, which was probably in the bullish side of things. So, is this a fad, or do you guys think this is here to stay?
Yeah, man, I don't know if it's a fad. I do have some concerns. I don't know about the stamp thing, right? But my concern with this is inscribing these things onto the Satoshis, right? They're doing it on Litecoin too. Is the fact that they can filter it out. They can create a filter and filter out any Satoshi that has, a inscription on it. I don't know if that can be a good thing or a bad thing at some point in the future. It'd be a good thing, the fact that, less Satoshis, less Bitcoin, more value, more scarcity. But at the same time, it could be used against Bitcoin to, maybe say, hey, we can't, if they get enough inscriptions on all the Satoshis out there, they could filter it out and say, hey, man, maybe we have to move to a new blockchain and replicate Bitcoin because it's been, contaminated with this stuff. I don't know. That's all speculation, conspiracy, crazy stuff. It's a very powerful fad, if it is a fad. I think it definitely has some legs under it. It has a lot of momentum going for it. But I definitely have concerns. I don't know. I want to hear from everybody else.
And welcome to the stage real quick, Mr. Cruz. We got the other half of Keeper Crusader over here. So, Mr. Keeper, welcome to the stage, man.
What's going on? Hopefully everybody's doing well. I literally just jumped in, so I caught the tail end of what you guys are talking about. So I'm going to pass on jumping in since I heard literally next to zero of the conversation. But I hope everybody's doing well tonight and making some money.
Trying. I'm currently in the opposite direction of making money on these coins right now. I went into the PP coin. That didn't work out too well. In fact, the entire pre-sale dumped, and I
went into I just, for no good reason, saw not trust. What was it? Poppy at like the top of the hot whatever, and I was like, I'll toss a couple bucks into it. And then I was telling Crusader, I was on the phone with him, and I just tossed like $200 into it or something, and it was up like 30% within like 5 minutes or something. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go to dinner and then come back or whatever, and it'll probably be back at nothing. And guess what? It's back to even.
Could be worse. It could be nothing.
I know. Could have been rugged over dinner.
For sure. But I think, honestly, to answer Crusader when he's asked, basically what anybody else thought about this being a fad. Yeah, no, it's a really interesting question. I mean, that is gaining a lot of steam in the Twitter spaces. And I think last time, I don't know, maybe it was Clubhouse that they were probably pitching all this stuff on back then. But yeah, no, I would like to, I'd like to see what Mr. Jet just came up to the stage here. And Jet, did you have anything you wanted to tap in on the BRC20 side of things?
Yeah, I mean, how you guys going? You going good?
GM, bro. GM, how you doing?
GM. Yeah, no, good. Just woke up. Getting ready. I work full-time in Web3, so I'm quite happy. But yeah, I think I'm very bullish on it, but I was really, really early into it. So I'm like pretty much in it for the long run now. Got into Ordinal Penguins, I think, around 3 months ago. So I was like really early. I did the escrow style sale. There was no marketplace. Yeah, I bought the Ordinal Penguin, I think, for about $8,000 with an escrow in a Discord, and now I think it's around 17K, which is incredible because I did get the inscription, and you just had to trust some guy on a Discord, which gives me like 2016 like no marketplaces vibes. So it's like you're pretty early. It's like getting I compare it to getting a punk at like really, really early phases of like crypto, as well as like if you think about it, from my perspective, if I buy one that's like, for example, mine's 2,657 inscription, and now there's like I think over 8 mil, right, or something like that, something crazy number. So it's like pretty much art at this point. Yeah, I probably wouldn't sell it, which is pretty incredible. It's pretty hard to sell as well, so that helps.
So you could probably give us a little bit more of some insight, if you don't mind, on regarding like the BRC side. I was in a space as well, and they were talking about how there was a bug in the indexing, which created negative inscriptions, which you could essentially be sitting on rare satoshis. So if you own a Bitcoin, you should go check your inscriptions, because if it's a negative, you have a Bitcoin that potentially could be worth. It would be called a cursed inscription, and it could be worth a lot more than just regular inscriptions. Am I kind of giving that out correctly?
Yeah, so the Ordinal Penguins, which is cool, is there's only 100 of them, and we already, like, the alpha in that group is incredible. I think we all made about 100K off of BRC20, like the tokens, just because of the alpha in that group. All Bitcoin maxis early 2019. Really, like, 2009, really early. I'm like the youngest person in that group. And basically, yeah, you get these cursed inscriptions. I know that there was these punks that were cursed, as well, and then they were kind of like reversed, which is pretty cool. They reversed the colors on the like JPEG, which was pretty like insane. But our like Ordinal Penguins, I don't want to shill it, but like they were just talking about Sats. They were inscribed on the 2009 Sats, which is very, very cool. They're pretty much like one of the only like under 10K that are inscribed on 2009 Sats. That makes them a little bit worth a little bit more. I think they've done like 3 Bitcoin in volume in the last two days or something like that. Is mad. Like, it's just picking up now. It's just too high of a barrier, I guess, because the lowest one's like 0.65 ETH now. Sorry, Bitcoin. I'm too used to ETH.
But is it like the more or less my question as a non-Bitcoin maxi or no maxi would be,
yeah,
if I owned a Bitcoin, like anybody here in this room has a ledger or something in their closet or in their vault, and they have a bunch of Bitcoin sitting there from the early days, is there a chance that they should be checking their inscriptions on those coins, that they could be sitting on a rare and expensive asset?
Yeah, you can definitely, you could be holding one. Like, you just go, you check it on the chain, and then if it is negative, that's pretty cool. You post about it. You just gotta. It's just about like people knowing that you have that, and then kind of creating that market. because like people don't know what they don't know, right? Like it's, for example, like for us, no one knows that our like penguins on like whatever the 2009 sats. The only way that we can make it worth more is if people kind of know. That's what kind of sucks about this whole thing, is it's all about like the marketing of like the project as well, which is like weird because you've got these things that are rare, but you need to make them rare. Yeah.
That's interesting. Ben, have you guys looked into that on the banter side?
Not enough, to be honest with you, man. Like you said, it's been like it's a pretty daunting sort of experience at the moment. So I mean, from a show perspective, we've been a bit reluctant to kind of push it to the community. We don't really want anyone to get wrecked. And we want to make sure that if we're providing content on a topic, that we can be as well informed as possible. Yeah, and to be honest with you, I think no one in the team is informed enough. Maybe we need Jet to come and give the banter team a bit of a tutorial. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mean, it sounds kind of crazy, but like just to me, like just from the outside looking in, without it being so much of which like what it is, like if it's a frog or a penguin or anything like that. But if you literally have a ledger with BTC on it, you should be checking those things. It's kind of that's really interesting for a lot of people that have been holding Bitcoin since the early days, and I'm assuming like a lot of this room, from both teams of Crusader and Keeper, and you on banter side. I mean, anybody who's been on, who sitting on stuff, you might be sitting on a bigger gold mine than you even know it. And that's wild, because from what I also know, the bug is going to be fixed. So I think they're going to be using indexers. They have to update the indexers, and then it's going to be fixed. So that will be just a limited supply of what per se cursed inscriptions. So that's actually the most intriguing thing about inscriptions to me personally. I'd love one day to dive in and kind of, like you said, like get a little bit more knowledge before making any type of rash decisions or expensive decisions on my end. But I was really intrigued when I heard that, because it's almost like a lotto ticket, and you already have the lotto tickets purchased, and all you got to do is just go scratch them. So that's an interesting aspect there. And Jet, really appreciate a lot of that information you're popping out here, man. I mean, it's definitely, I think people need to have an open mind. A lot of people that are a Bitcoin maxi don't understand, like, well, not that they don't understand. I think that a lot of people just are like, what's different? What's the use case? Where's the utility? However, there's also a really, a very intellectual group behind this that's putting together some awesome stuff through the Bitcoin ecosystem. And I really like one day to see, what exactly these things are going to do outside of just the art. With that being said, Andrew, thanks for coming up this stage. What did you want to talk about?
Yo, no, that was a really refreshing side from Jet. I just kind of wanted to drop my 2 cents about just BRC20s, like for whatever it's worth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's only like my opinion, and I just want to kind of clear that out the way. Before I even like say my thought, I just want to let you know, like, the one thing that I have learned for sure in this space, and like that's don't fade the culture. So regardless of even like what I think, like if this is like what the people want, it doesn't even matter what I want, because it's like what everyone else wants. So this space definitely runs on culture. So I'll definitely just throw that out there, and then I'll kind of say my 2 cents. Personally, I'm part of the squad that faded BRC20s. It's not that like I faded them, but I've just like seen similar trends play out throughout my lifetime. And I think like the most comparable one I can make is with Steam IDs. I don't know if y'all are familiar with like the gaming platform on PC called Steam. Way back in the day, if you were super, super early, when you make an account, you're given an account ID, and that's your Steam ID number. And before like all of these bigger games got adapted on the platform, primarily like Counter-Strike was being played on Steam and Valve. And whenever you joined a server, it would like display your Steam ID. And that was kind of like the way that you were identified by a lot of people in the community, especially if you had a lower digit. People would consider you OG, or people would consider you being around longer or maybe having more experience. So at the time, lower Steam IDs were very, very sought after. They were very valuable. People kind of thought they were, they meant something. They were proud of it. As I would like to say, mass adoption kind of came onto the Steam platform. I believe it was like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, some shit like that. One of the Call of Duties got on Steam, and it completely blew up their user base. Steam pretty much exploded. A whole bunch of new people came on, and the thing that changed was all of these new people that got onboarded, all of these new people on the platform, none of them gave a shit about Steam IDs. Absolutely nobody. Nobody cared about the length. No one cared about how early you are. No one cared about how short you were. So it became just a thing that only a few group of people like thought was cool. You know what I'm saying? And then like that kind of like faded out. And then like as like progression went on, you can't even see people's Steam IDs anymore on the platform unless you kind of like go in the console, you see what players are connected to the server, and like you have to do work to check Steam IDs. It's not so like apparent and visible before. So I kind of thought it was something like a little similar because I was hella early on Steam. Like I had a super low digit, and like I thought it was hella cool. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, bro, I'm hella proud of this shit. Like, check this out. But as time went on, just nobody else gave a fuck except me, you know? So that being said, this culture may be different. Like I said, this whole entire space runs on culture, but that was just kind of my own past experiences with something I thought was similar.
Yeah, bro. I beta tested Steam, Counter-Strike 1.4, or even earlier than that, and I had a 7-digit, man. So I definitely relate to those times. That account is probably gone forever, never to be seen again. But you know, it is what it is. On the side of with Keeper and Crusader, I mean, is this stuff? You know, obviously how Banter's a large account. They've been in the space. I think their YouTube account was started in like 2017. With like I think like you guys are pushing Ben like over 680,000 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, on your side, Crypto and Crusader, like, do you guys take a little bit more of this information, like BRCs? Is that stuff that like without having, you know, experts and of this stuff, do you guys like be a little bit more edgier on the content that you produce, or are you sticking to the HODL game, sticking to the BTC as a whole? You know, where do you guys position yourself when you create content?
I think when it comes to content, dude, I think everything is fair game. There's everyone's looking for some level of education, right? Some people are looking for BRC, some people are looking for the SRC, right? Some people just like to have that up to date, like latest technology out there. Other people just like the more traditional, you know, hodler, you know, basic crypto information, depending on their level of education, right? They're new in the space, they're probably not going to be jumping into BRC straight away unless that's how they get introduced. But I think overall content is in all levels great because it always educates you no matter what level you're at. I don't think that anyone should steer away from a certain type of content. You know, when it comes to education, unless you're trying to shill something. But if it's not a shill and it's just straight education, I think it's always great to put the content out there, no matter what the topic is.
For sure, for sure. No, that makes a lot of sense. Jet, real quick, I had a question, Jet. We talked earlier for a brief second. I was looking into SRC20 stamps. Can you clarify what an SRC20 stamp is? Because I think I got some alpha from somebody real quick, and then I kind of ran with it, kind of looking into the website called stampchain.io. Am I early on this?
Yeah, really early because I don't even know what it is.
Hold that. Breaking news. Crypto Chris G is early. Holy shit. Who would have thought this? I didn't make this.
Like what you have there is like super early. Let me just check the Penguins Discord and let me mute myself for a second.
Whoa, hold on. Before you start spreading the God's word of SRC20, you know, let's all make sure we all capitalize in here. No, I'm just kidding. If you can get some info, bro, that would be so sick. I would like to understand what the hell I'm looking at. It sounds like it was kind of like a Starbucks stamp system. that probably just rolled right over your head, but no, that would definitely be something interesting to hear about. So I would definitely be interested to see what you think.
Yeah,
yeah,
give me
so
2 minutes. Give
yeah,
me
while
2
you're
minutes. I'll
doing
get
that,
you info.
I want to pick on Keeper here because it's funny. I've been in DMs on Telegram with Keeper and kind of been getting his whistle wet on the meme coin game here. Keeper, how's it going, bro? You said you left some money in that one, but did you mess with any of these others? Because I know I've been trying to help you get some pre-sales in, but it's hard, man. Aren't these people crazy with like how like impatient and like instant gratification?
It's nuts,
Like,
bro. It's nuts.
oh my god.
I had an appointment today at noon for one of them, and I threw some ETH over to Crusader, and because we do pretty much everything together, I threw some over at him, and I was like, "Hey, can you jump in like right at noon? Because I know it's going to go fast." But I was thinking, it goes fast. Like, maybe it'll take 20 minutes or something like that. Dude is like, and he messes with me a lot. So he texts me, he's like, "Bro, I couldn't get in." And I'm thinking, oh, he's full of it. He's just messing with me, whatever. But literally within one freaking minute, what was it, 168 ETH disappeared. And I'm like, this has got to be, and some of this I feel like, so obviously there's a lot of bots in there. So I almost wonder though, the thing that I don't like is that it feels like, and I don't know whether this is true or not, this is just me speculating, but are they loading up basically the token, get some liquidity, and then buying up their own token with their own bots, which then they can post on Twitter that it's sold out in a minute. They've got it at a heavy discount. Then when it goes live, it's hot. Like everybody's, oh, that went in a minute. We got to get in on that now. And then they use this as exit liquidity. I'd like to think that's not what's happening, but it just seems like too much all at once, just too fast, where you can't even get in when you're refreshing and clicking the moment that it goes live. It just seems wild, bro. You degens are. And then one of my buddies told me, he was like, bro, sometimes they'll just drop them at like 2 a.m. And part of the deal is like, well, if you weren't up, well, then you sleepers were used as exit liquidity. I'm like, oh my god, you guys are nuts. So I don't know. I like it. It's fun. It's something else to do. I've made some money on some of them or whatever. But I'm just trying to figure it out, man, because it's a totally different game than the hodl life that I live, and running a construction company and family and all the other stuff. This is just totally just balls to the wall all the time.
Yeah, you get, you're used to getting some sleep at night, like 2-3 hours. No, there's no sleep in DeFi
I'm
world.
finding that out.
It is full. And I mean, and honestly though, this is a sprint, and personally, I think that we are not even in a DeFi meme-fi summer. I think we are in literally just a quick run of this stuff. I mean, liquidity is getting sucked up every second by mevbots. It's getting sucked up every second by honeypots, and it's getting sucked up every second by devs. Like you said, a lot of these devs are building in what they would say is a fair launch, but what they'll just basically do is set up buy bots from 5 different wallets, even probably more for the most part. And as they launch the token, which they'll say on Twitter, oh, token's launched, but then you look at the chart, it's been launched for a minute and there's already a base set up for it. So like really, if you're not like in an alpha with like the devs in it, and it's not like something like there's no such thing as a fair launch, guys, be real. But what you need to do, what you can do is try to be as early as possible, or if there's a pre-sale, watch for the immediate dump and then try to catch it on, if you believe it has legs, try to catch it on its rotation up. Typically that happens when a contract renounces. So that's really what the purpose of this stuff is. I mean, there is no utility to any of
No.
these, so like don't hold this shit longer than you're happy
I
with
was
with
about
a
to
quick
say the other
profit.
thing I'm learning really quickly is to not have greed and try to hit the home run every time, because ultimately you might get lucky once in a while, but I'm going to guess more often than not you're trying to hit a home run and you'd probably just get served,
100%, 100%. And this has got to be, honestly, as like for you guys and like on the banter side, like this has got to be a little bit frustrating, because it's like you're just seeing this liquidity and this volume moving around, and as in like a degen, I'm like, okay, this is opportunities, but man, it's like this is like really, people are taking, you got to think like they're losing Ethereum, they're moving Bitcoin, they're moving other assets to just get like an opportunity to have some play money. you just got to hope like that this doesn't like deter people from trying or at least like investing in the long term. And that's the reason it kind of is scary, because if the coins keep going down, like if we see a lower Bitcoin, we see a lower Ethereum, then this is also going to dry up DeFi, and then everyone's kind of like it's just going to even be more bored. So I'm really hoping that we find like a default solution as soon as possible. They don't wait till the last second, and we don't get a bad stick at the end of the deal, and we see this crypto go down because
It will hurt the
like
crypto space as a whole. It's part of the reason why I was very vocal last year. So on Debate Crypto, and then on my TikTok, I was pretty vocal last year, maybe the year before, I think last year, about the meme coin game. And the only reason, like, I'm happy, like, go ahead, gamble, make money. The problem is that a lot of new people get in. Like, okay, for example, you go out to dinner, somebody finds out, oh, you're in crypto or whatever. Like, yeah, I got some Doge or I got some Shiba. Like, they never tell you, like, oh yeah, I'm in Polkadot or something like that, right? That's never the conversation. And so the thing that I don't like is that I feel like it can be discouraging. Somebody new coming in, thinking they've got this opportunity to get rich overnight, that the majority of the time is not what happens, and then they get a bad taste in their mouth for crypto. So you're right. I think we need to figure out, like, how can we find a sweet spot? There's always going to be people trying to take advantage of the system. There's always going to be, winners and losers. That's just life. That's capitalism. I'm fine with that. But how can we educate people to understand, hey, this is gambling? I try to do it on my TikTok all the time. I just did a video yesterday, I think, and just said, hey, I'm going full degen, but I know that I'm stepping up to the table to roll dice. I think I just want more and more people to truly understand that, hey, this isn't the investment side of crypto. This is the, hey, can I get a little bit lucky side of crypto? That's what I want people to know.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. And I think, just from like a banter perspective, what I think is quite frustrating for us is, obviously we're striving every day. We work extremely hard to provide alpha, that's what everyone wants. They want alpha. And with the current meme season, it's extremely difficult to provide that alpha. It's almost impossible because, like you're saying, everyone's looking for the quick buck. Everyone wants the gamble. You want that one trade where you're going to just make it all. And, no one's really interested in what's fundamentally sound and in the kind of stuff that you can research and sort of analyze on a deeper level. So yeah, I think it's been pretty tough, to be honest, from like a content creation point of view, to have these meme coins sort of just steal the show. And yeah, I really hope that it doesn't wreck too many people, because my gut feeling is that there's a hell of a lot more losers than there are winners here.
Yeah, somebody has to lose for somebody to win.
Yeah, man. What's really frustrating as well too is that we're setting, a stigma for everybody to just make a quick buck, but not really build anything that has real utility or substance that can last a long time, right? Like Keeper and I, we have our own NFT project for the prepper space, right, with real life utility, and yet we struggle to grow the community, to grow the project. And then you have all these other projects that just nothing, or they're just a bunch of fugazi. They're just popping off, raising millions of dollars, and you're like, how?
100%. I think. Thank you guys for both answering. All three of you for answering that question. I mean, I can feel it. I'm not even an influencer or a content creation side, but I could definitely feel that frustration just on my end as a degen. And like when you talk about like Ben talked about how you want to provide like deep understanding, deep knowledge, deep like a little bit more than just surface level information or content. There's not much more than Dex Tools, Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Once you find those, you're in. You got everything you need. So with that being said, Jet's back. Hopefully he's got some clarity. What's up, Jet?
I do actually. I went back, asked the guys in the chat what they think of Stance. They've been talking, so not so early. They've been talking about it for I think a month now. So it's not so early, but they were like, it was really, really early when they got in. So now you're like early. So basically a month ago, some guy named Mike created a Bitcoin standard. Yeah, it's crazy. His name is just Mike. and he created a Bitcoin standard. That standard allows you to inscribe it directly into the sats. And basically that makes it much harder to prune like the ordinal. So it like increases the permanence on chain. And basically there's only 16,500. I've got an article that they've sent me written by like a deep Bitcoin maxi, where you would only find if you're really, really deep. It's called the bitcoinmanual.com, and if you are, like, you would know. I can drop it into the chat. Like, you can have a read about it. Yeah, you can have a read about it. It's like, basically, STAMP stands for Secure Tradable Art Maintained Securely. So he's just made that up, basically. And he's gone, cool. It's just art secured better on chain. Yeah, you're really early, dude. Like 16,500 is low. That is low.
Well, boys, I think I just provided some intense content creation for you guys if you really want to go down that route. I'm gonna definitely go down it a little bit. If there's only 16,500, then to me that is definitely as early as I've ever been in this industry, and I would love to kind of check out whatever you can find on that stuff, man, and however to get my hands on one if there's drops, or do I need to go meet somebody in person and do like a handshake for this kind of stuff? Like, how's that work?
Yeah, so you're probably going to be dealing with an escrow. That's probably what's going to happen, because Magic Eden and all of them only support one of the standards, which is the BRC20 standard. So with any of these other things, you're probably going to be looking at an escrow. I might look into it. If I find like a good escrow, happy to let you know. But I think it takes inspiration from like ERC. If anyone knows ERC 1155, it's like the NFT ERC, where you can, like, I think it's some sort of like, I'm not good at ETH. Like, don't kill me. But it's similar to that standard where it's a lot more secure.
So it's like an 1155 Ethereum.
Yeah, correct. It pretty much takes inspiration from that.
So interesting. So like, because 720 would be like your, and Ben, you correct me, if anybody else, please correct me if I'm wrong, but 720 is a little bit more secure, and then 1155s would be more like a fungible token, right?
Yeah, so you could like completely repeat it constantly. I think I'm reading about the 1155 now. It's in that article. Just have a read down, but it's used for like gaming. Which, see, like you guys are right. This is a hype cycle, so please don't like take this as if I'm like, yeah, this is utility. No, I just made a lot of money and flipped it really, really well, which is like the game, and it is what it is. But I think, like, what I think I compare this to is in early crypto days, people were trying to find utility, and what they would do is like they would create, like when meme coins came about and like people started creating these altcoins, they would just create them, and then everyone kept making different standards to try find utility for them. So you're kind of like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is, I'd be very surprised actually if this was the last standard to come out. So like, please don't like think that this is like the final countdown. We're like ready to go full utility like Bitcoin. I think this could be like maybe one standard of like hundreds about to come out. So yeah, just take this as it is. Just think about exiting when you can exit. Like, yeah, all those things and your risk and all that stuff. Just keep that in mind
Sure.
when you play with.
If you don't mind posting at the top, I don't see it, so that's what I was just waiting for.
Oh no! Oh, can I pin it? Sorry, I don't pin it
because
I get like sometimes people are like, oh yeah, no, I pin my stuff, and I'm like, okay.
No worries. We're yeah. If you don't mind pinning it, and then we're probably getting to the end here. I definitely want to just I want to appreciate, be respectable of everyone's time, especially because Ben, you're across the ocean now. I'm pretty sure. So, with that being said, please take a second. Like this is alpha, guys. Like real alpha here. If you want to be as early as we can possibly be outside of like really diving in, like thank you, Jet, for like posting that. I would definitely make a bookmark of this right here, and take like maybe some time to just understand it a little bit more. I'm actually copying that and saving it. I think like this is, like he said, this could potentially be one of the last standards, if not the last, potentially, of a Bitcoin inscription, right? So it's like, who knows? I mean, that if that's a utility that people get behind, that could be big. So yeah, no, thanks, man. I really appreciate you taking the extra time and connecting and seeing if please like keep me in mind if you do learn any more about this. I'm always open in the DMs for that kind of stuff. But yeah, let's start to close this down. Ben, thank you so much for being here. If you want to give a shout out for Banter Channel real fast, man, I'd love to give you a quick minute here.
Oh, thanks, man. No, it was a real pleasure to join and chat with you guys. Really, really enjoyed that. Yeah, I mean, give the show some love. We really just we're striving to give you the best, credible, up to date crypto content. If you have any feedback for us, we always welcome it. My DMs are always open. I'm very keen to connect with all of you. All seem like a really smart and knowledgeable bunch of guys. So really, it's just been a pleasure. Thanks for having me. I'm really looking forward to hopefully coming back.
Oh, 100%, dude. And I think it's awesome to connect different channels. I know with Keeper and Crusader, they're up and coming. I think they've been around in the industry for a couple of years now, regarding like YouTube content creation. So I'd love to see their growth get bigger and bigger. And if you guys, if you have any questions, I'll let you go to it now to give a shout out to your channel. But yeah, it's not often that you get a crypto banter part of the team in a space like this. So Bennett, I can't wait to see you again, man. I'm so sad I missed you in Miami, but I know that you and I will have another opportunity in person to definitely get together as we visit more of these hubs of conferences. So Crusader, man, you're next up here.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for bringing me on here. It's been great learning all about the BRC and the SRC tokens, and having a great chat with all of you guys. Have tons of alpha and just great information. Keeper and I, we've had Debate Crypto for a little bit over a year now on YouTube. So check us out if you guys have some time. Appreciate all the subs, and we try to bring the best information we can and make it as entertaining as possible as well. But yeah, man, I appreciate it. I look forward to maybe coming back on another space with you guys and chopping it up.
Hell yeah, bro! It always. I'm all about people, man. I invest in people, and I love to. It's always good times to just start communications like this, and then as like spaces and the space in general grows, we always revisit, never forget about each other, and make sure that we all keep thriving. So, Keeper, man, your turn here.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on. For sure, it was really nice meeting you in Miami. I love meeting new people. It seems like everybody I meet in the Web3 space has just been super dope. I feel like the community actually really cares about each other, whereas it seems like in life, there's a lot of times a lot of, haters that just don't want to see other people succeed. And I think there's so many intelligent people in the space that have different qualities, things that they're good at. I think that if we can really take the mindset that, hey, there's enough of the pie for everybody to get a piece, that's kind of how Crusader and I look at things. Like, how can we work together with other people that are able to do things better than us? And then we can provide value on the side that we know how to provide value, and ultimately bring it to you, hopefully dish it out in a little bit different fashion on Debate Crypto than maybe you see elsewhere. So, yeah, man, I really appreciate it. I look forward to being in here more with you, and look forward to those little heads up texts you've been hooking me up with. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, we're gonna catch a good one here soon, bro. I try to filter the BS as much as possible, but as well as not let it affect my workday at all. So, if I can be early, then that's all I ask for too. So, Mr. Scary Terry, man, thanks for joining us from the Rebud House out there in Cali, working from the cannabis store, spitting some cannabis software game, bro. Thanks for being here, man.
No, yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me here. Definitely, I got a lot of information. I'm not too educated on my BCR tokens or BRC tokens. I'm a little hungry, so I'm thinking bean, cheese, and rice burrito. Sorry, but yeah, no, definitely. It's been a blast. I did follow everybody on this panel. Again, what Debate Crypto is just saying right now is 100%, what I also believe. There's so many smart individuals and so many different people in their own realms doing their own things. And I really feel like the space is not only great for networking, but it's also great for finding individuals that have a certain trade that you might not have, but might be in need of. So definitely, yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for having me. I definitely, look forward next time. If you have another one of these, let me know. I hope to be a little more involved in the next one. Unfortunately, I'm not too educated, on my Bitcoin side of things. But yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
No, man, that's cool, and it's okay. Like sometimes, like not being involved, just trying to absorb anything that is you can take away from a space is almost, if not more important. And Jet here. Thank you, Jet, for taking your time. Just jumping on the space here and enlightening us with some clarity of what the hell's going on that side of the world. We being down in Bitcoin Miami, like I definitely think there is a community online that is a lot nicer than the maxi that attends these conferences, because a lot of them, half the time, they just are ready to have an argument with somebody. So I think spaces are an absolute amazing and impactful and powerful tool for us to get real information, especially from like these different teams who have the opportunity as content creators, such as Debate Crypto and Banter, to help get a little bit of understanding, so that way they can go back to their teams and start to figure out content creation plans and move forward with empowering the rest of their audience. So yeah, no, that was fantastic, Jet. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, no worries, man. Like, super awesome space. I actually just jumped in randomly. Like, I think someone in here I must be following them or something. So I just jumped in. I was like, what are they talking about? And I got in. I was like, you're talking about BRCs. I was like, okay, cool. I can stick around here. Yeah, I jumped in the chat. I got added to an alpha group. So if anyone would like to be added to an SIC 20 alpha group, do not take. Don't just hit me up in DMs. But I don't know what it is. It's not my alpha group. I got added to it through the Penguins, and yeah, like I'm happy to help anyone out, learn a bit more about it, and get a little bit of alpha and stay up to date. It's really hard staying up to date though when you work, so you can take it if you need it.
No, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I'll shoot you a DM. And Enzo, thanks for jumping up here, man.
Dude, thank you guys for having me always. It's a pleasure coming up here. Dude, we've been on these spaces for 49 weeks, and it's been incredible. The last couple of spaces have been phenomenal. We've gotten some amazing information on things that we had no idea even existed, like this SRC20. Today was the first day we actually heard about it. So yeah, thank you. Really happy to be here. Really happy to be a part of all of this. Thank you so much.
For sure. And guys, after Cryptomatic, feel free to leave. We're gonna play a song. But yeah, last but not least, Cryptomatic, man. Thanks for playing DJing out today for us. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys. He's gonna shut us down here.
Thanks for coming, everybody. Much love.
Yeah, cyberfunk. Yeah. I mix my ETH with Polygon Pythagoras. MetaMask, yeah, crypto cash. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through MetaTope. My eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Smart contracts inside your smartphone. Phase 1 evolution, revolution. Help me ET phone. Whole body markerless motion capture. The metaverse broken after the MetaTope golden era. The whitelist still open. Hurry up, what you need? Golden chariot. Holy virgins that's holding cherubims, paving the road with fairy dust. Create the avatar of your wildest dreams, yeah, and use it inside your live stream. And all your metaverses, favorite games in widescreen. MetaTope, visualize your digital ID. I seen the metaverse through MetaTope. My eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. Yeah, MetaTope is your mirror to the metaverse. Yeah, I seen the metaverse through MetaTope. My eyes a megaphone. Customize my empty skin to optimize my flesh and bone. MetaTope.